Hello again, my name's Anna Schmidt and I am a house healer and a paranormal clearing specialist. And today I'd like to talk with you about violence and how it affects the energy of the home. So as a house healer, I'm finding that more and more violence, self-harm, suicide, mental health issues are presenting in the work that I do. So house healing is clearing the energetic disturbances in people's homes. So this can be geopathic, which is connected to the earth energy lines, the water flows. It can be technopathic, which is the Wi-Fi energy that's within our homes, the microwaves, all sorts of technology energy that can affect us. But also, violence attracts dark energy beings into homes. Now, these energy beings feed off lower vibrational emotion, but they can also be attracted to trauma. Now, this was introduced to me by my spiritual support network in the last 12 months. And I am finding that every house healing job that I do has some level of violent energetic imprints within the home. Now, this can be within the actual home, so within the building itself, or it can be within the shed or in the driveway or on the land where these negative interactions have taken place. Now, these negative interactions don't have to have been recent, as in the last 6 months, the last 12 months. They can be 20, 30, 40 years old or more. So through my dowsing as a house healer, I connect in and specialize with clearing paranormal energies from people's homes and what has attracted them into the home. So I will go through each room within the home where the client guides me to go sometimes. They say to me, look, it just doesn't feel right out there. So as I work through the home, each level of the home, including the basement and the attic, I will also talk to the land energies. The demonic level beings are a higher ranking level of the dark energies, and they tend to travel in groups, and you will know if they're in your home because it will just feel uncomfortable. The energy will feel heavy in certain areas. So they tend to be what I call stationary energies, is that they are attracted to a particular room or a particular area of the home where there in the past have been violent interactions. There may have been fighting, there may have been verbal abuse. They can even be attracted to people who have passed away on the property. And I'm going to be sharing examples today of things to look out for, what to look for in a home when you are buying a home, so that you know that you're not getting a home that has had past negative energetic interactions. Now, most homes will have had some level of negative interaction. It's just the way we work as human beings. Everything that we think, the words we say, our actions and reactions create positive emotions, but they also create negative emotions. And the negative emotions are what is imprinted into the home. The positive emotions tend to be felt and then they just dissipate. Because they're a higher vibration, they don't imprint into this energetic level in which we live. So I'm going to use my own home as an example to start with, because I find that people can relate to real life stories, real life examples of energetic presence. So we moved into the house that I'm in right now probably 32 years ago. And I knew there was something that wasn't quite right to start with. Now, in those days, I wasn't at the level of awareness about dark energy as I am now. And I was speaking to one of the neighbours one day. I just said to her, look, I can't sleep. I have trouble sleeping in this house. There's something about the bathroom that just doesn't feel right. And we weren't told by the realtor that someone had passed away in our home. There had been a suicide in the house that I'm living in right now. Now that energy has been cleared now. I worked with the energy being that was attracted to the suicide energy. Now the spirit of the person that committed suicide in this home wasn't here. That being had decided to cross over and had moved into the afterlife. But the energetic imprint in the bathroom and hallway area of this home that I live in now just didn't feel right. There was something uncomfortable. I would get stomach aches when I walked past that area. The bathroom felt uncomfortable to be in. So when I cleared the energetic beings that were attached to the emotions and cleared the emotions that were present from the spirit who had passed away here, the energy of the home changed altogether. Like, I get spirits coming and going here all the time, but they don't leave those heavy energetic imprints. Now, there was a house that I attended to do an in-person assessment. They're a lovely spiritual family. They'd walked into this home and went, I really like the feel, I like the layout. They had an entertainment area, they had a couple of sheds, and it just felt great at the time when they did the walk through the home. When they moved in, they found that their energy levels changed. Both parents said to me, I just can't be bothered cooking. I just don't want to go in the kitchen. There's something about the kitchen that is not right. Also the stairs, the upstairs and the shed. The shed in this one particular home had been a place of violence against a female. There'd been violence in the home. There'd been domestic violence over a period of 20 years in this home. And how did I know that? I use my pendulum as my dowsing tool to connect to this information. So my body will feel the disturbances within the home, and my psychic senses will help me sometimes see the experiences, because sometimes I need to see what needs to be cleared. Because as a house healer and a super sensitive empath, sometimes I need to feel the emotions within the home to actually release them. So as I'm doing my work, sometimes I can be crying. Like, I'm just sitting there in the chair crying as I'm connecting to these emotions and releasing them, because the home needs that. Houses are a living entity. They have guardians. The land has guardians, and the fabric of the building feels and absorbs emotions just as much as we do. So the energetic imprints are impacting the fabric of the building, which then when you're living in it and walking around in it, you're going, there's something not quite right, because your body is a natural dowsing tool and it will pick up on these emotions. So back to the family. The family took me upstairs, and as we're walking up the stairs, I tripped on the bottom step. And I'm like, there's something there, because I don't trip very often and I'm pretty careful with my feet. And as I'm going up the stairs, I saw a female being pulled down the stairs by her hair. And that was traumatizing, because I'm very sensitive to violence, but I needed to see that to understand the level of negative energy that was present within that home. No wonder this family couldn't sleep, they couldn't cook, they didn't feel comfortable in any of the rooms. Their child slept upstairs in the bedroom with them because she didn't want to be alone in her bedroom. So they took me into her. So when I came home, they'd given me a floor plan of their home, and I sat down and I tuned into every single room within that home. Clear detrimental emotions. I need to clear trauma, any mental health issues that are present on the property. Because doing the in-depth detective work and finding out what is there then unlocks the attachment to the dark energy beings. Once that attachment is found and why they're there, everything can be cleared from the home, so it is perfectly clean and clear energetically. Then the dark energy beings and the demonic level beings can be moved on, and they won't return because that energy has been removed, unless there's newer energy created by violence, trauma, any negative interactions that are excessive. I mean, the occasional fight that you have with your partner is not going to bring in these energetic beings. This particular home had 20 plus years of domestic violence that was present. And I knew as soon as I stepped out of the car, because I will drive up to a property and I'll just sit there and I'll just observe what I'm picking up with my body, because your body is a dowsing tool. So I sat in the car, and as soon as I put one foot out the door, I went, yep, I need to, my attention was drawn to the shed, which was near where I parked. It was putting out this energetic pulsating that was really, really off-putting, and I felt quite sick in the head, like headaches. I felt disorientated. I'm like, yeah, there's something in the shed that needs to be dealt with. So the family are walking me around the home, and the wife says, I just can't go into the shed to get the lawnmower. That is just so uncomfortable in that shed. That had been a place of domestic violence as well within one of the previous families that had lived in this home. Now, it doesn't have to be the owner that was there before these people. It can go back 2, 3, 4 families that may have lived on the property, which happened with a home in the USA recently that I did a house clearing on. Because the lady said to me, oh, there was such a lovely elderly couple that lived here before us. And when I did the tuning in and got all the dates of when the energy had been created within the home, she went, oh yeah, they told me about this horrible couple that lived there before them, and they were always fighting and arguing and throwing things. There's the key. So that home that was perfectly cleared once I removed all the domestic violence energy, all the negative emotional energy imprints, and the paranormal beings that were connected to them. And this family now, they get in the kitchen and they sing and they laugh, and their daughter's happy. She sleeps in her bedroom again. Even the dog is happy. Now, the dog wouldn't even sleep in the house. Used to go and sleep outside. Now, pets are a sure sign. If your pet's behavior changes really randomly, or they're growling at a corner, or they just won't go into a room, there's most likely a paranormal being present because of some sort of energetic imprint that is within the home. So that is just something to be aware of. Animals are super sensitive to energy, just like we are. A lady contacted me about a new house that her and a partner had moved into. They loved it. They loved every single room in the property except the kitchen and the shed again. Now, she said to me, we're always fighting in the kitchen. And she said, we never fight anywhere else. We go out, in our bedroom and everywhere else in the house. We love each other and we get on really well. But in the kitchen, she didn't tell me where in the kitchen, but I pinpointed it through my dowsing. She said, we just argue and we throw things and it's really violent. She said, it's totally out of character for my partner and I to have these behaviours. So this is why she contacted me. She found my website and she had listened to some of my YouTube videos and went, yep, I think this is the person that I need. When I tuned into that home, I was drawn to the shed again first. I just go where I'm told to go first. Because I have a very strong spiritual support network team that I work with. I have light beings, but I also have a paranormal energy, a darker energy that is part of my team that helps transition the heavier energies, the darker energies, much quicker than I can do myself. He's an amazing assistance. So he pointed out to me, you need to do the shed first, love. And I'm like, right, tune in, do the dowsing. Someone had been growing marijuana in the shed. Now, the landowner didn't know this, but when she spoke to a neighbour, a couple of weeks later, a neighbour had been there for like 50 years plus, elderly couple. They said, oh, yes, there used to be this awful smell coming out of the shed, but we just didn't know what it was. Now, marijuana, any excessive drug or alcohol activity creates a lower vibration. And remember, dark energies are lower vibrations, and some of them are attracted to particular vibrations that they just vibrate at. It's their thing, is what they're attracted to. So within this shed were 4 demonic level beings just hanging out with the marijuana vibration. And the partner's like, I can't even go in there and park my lawnmower. It's just, afterwards when I spoke to her, she said he just couldn't go near the shed, but he was too scared to say anything because he didn't want to feel like a fool. He didn't want to feel like he was going to be jeered and laughed at for making up stuff about the shed. And I'm going, this energetic stuff is so real. And the more house healing work I do, the more I'm being shown that this may be my path for the future, is to work with suicide souls, as I call them, to work with domestic violence within homes, to work with mental health issues within homes, because it is such, they carry such low vibrations. They really attract the very heavy, dark and demonic level beings. So once I tuned into this marijuana energy, I asked my management and my support network to come and help clear it, and I cleared all the emotions. So what sort of emotions do you think are attached to marijuana's vibration? You're looking at paranoia. You're looking at worthless. You're looking at shame, guilt, possibly resentment, could be hatred. The shed was full of these emotions. Paranoia was the main one. And the person that used to smoke the marijuana also created paranoia in the kitchen. So in this particular spot in this kitchen, there was a big pocket of paranoia and hatred and guilt and shame and all these negative emotions that this person had dragged into the house. Once these emotions were cleared, the energetic beings were moved on, the marijuana energy was cleared from the shed and in the backyard. The home feels amazing now. The lady sent me the most amazing testimonial saying the house feels like a breath of fresh air. She said, it feels like you have come through and swept it clean. We feel so happy and loved in this home now. No more arguing in the kitchen. She said, it's a pleasure to be at home. So there you go. There is a couple of examples of how dark energy and low vibrational actions can impact on the home. So apart from absorbing violence and suicide energy, homes can also absorb mental health issues and self-harming. This I found in a home on the other side of the world, in the Northern Hemisphere. Lovely, beautiful spiritual family moved into this home. It was a 3-story home. The first story felt great. But really lovely kitchen, lounge room, living room, office. They loved being on the lower floor. As soon as they went up into the bedrooms, 2 of the bedrooms were great. The 3rd bedroom was really uncomfortable. It felt depressing to be in. It felt so uncomfortable that the young person that was inhabiting this bedroom, their behaviour started to change. And the parents were like, I don't know what is wrong with our child. But since we've moved into this home, something has changed within this person. So they found me through YouTube and contacted me through my website and explained the issues within the upper story of this home. So when I tuned into the home, yep, the lower floor was great. The third floor level had a few little energies that were hanging around because there was a lot of past memories and a lot of boxes and things that had been stored there. So a lot of old energy, but nothing too detrimental. But this one particular bedroom in this home felt very, very uncomfortable. Within this bedroom, there'd been a young person that had lived there, I think it was 15 to 18 years ago, who had very deep and traumatizing mental health issues. And this person had actually been self-harming. So they'd actually spilt blood on the property, which is another attractant to these dark energy beings. They're attracted to the vibration of blood being spilt through negative interactions. That was new to me at that time. I had not had a house healing case where there'd been self-harming. So I stepped very carefully, very compassionately, and worked with the energy that was present within that home, within that building. And I conveyed it that way to the client through my written report that I give them as well. So I'm very delicate about the language that I use because I have such respect for the living people within the home, the energy within the home, any spirits and any paranormal beings that are present. So it took me a good day to clear the bedroom and some of the other rooms within that home. But the owners messaged me within 4 days of receiving their report, and they said to me that the house felt great and that their child's behaviour had returned to normal. It was like having their child back again. There was no more negative behaviours, no more negative staring and actions and reactions that this child was initiating, which was totally out of character. So this is a good lesson for anyone who's watching this video. If you go into a building or you sleep at someone's house or you buy a new property, be aware of the energy that is around you. Now, these paranormal beings within homes are there as feeders. That is basically what they do, is they feed off the energetic imprints. So they are not going to harm the property or harm the people other than draining their energy and creating a few negative behaviors. But long term, that can be detrimental for our physical body, our mental and emotional health. So it's really important to get on top of any energetic issues that you feel within your home. It can be within a new car that you buy. I've actually done a clearing on a caravan as well, because anything that has been pre-owned, I'll put a link to a video above about objects that hold energy. It doesn't have to be a crystal or a watch or a chair or a piece of clothing. It can be a building, a car, a shed. It can be wood that has been transported from one property to another, where there has been, say, violence or a murder or suicide or serious assaults within that property, and the building is dismantled. Where that wood goes, that can carry the vibration of those lower vibrational activities, and the energy beings will be attached to that. They just travel around attached to items all the time. I'm putting out a book called The Darkness Around Us. Now, it's a paranormal guide to understanding the darkness so that you can live in the light. It talks about who dark energies are, why they're here, signs and symptoms of their attachment methods, ways that you can remove working with spirits that are in your home, some of the lower vibrational dark energies, where they go, and I also talk about paranormal addiction. So this is something that will be out May 2022. It's going to be a really useful handbook for a lot of people to understand paranormal beings that are around us. I don't think there's anything else that's been written the way this book has been written. I also share over 110 stories from my experiences and from my client-based experiences. Locations and names all changed, but the information is there so that you can understand, if you go to a certain place or you buy a home, how the energy changes and how it can affect you short-term and long-term. And not only yourself, it can affect your children, and also your pets can pick up on energetic disturbances that are within the home. So thank you for watching today, and I hope you have gained some new knowledge, some new information about how to pick up on and be more sensitive and more aware of the energy that is around you all the time. Everywhere that you go, there are emotional energy imprints, and there may be paranormal beings. So thank you for joining me today. I will see you again soon. I will be putting out a video about paranormal energies and interactions and their behaviors and their tactics every fortnight. Every other fortnight, I talk about my psychic and spiritual information that is deemed necessary, that management says needs to be shared right now. And I also do monthly numerology readings for the upcoming month. So if you like what I talk about, please feel free to subscribe, leave me a comment. Have you had a paranormal experience that you would like to share, that you would like some assistance with? Contact me and we'll have a conversation. I'll see you later, and bye for now.